Hello again. I'm back. So, like I said before, I'm going to go over everything that we're gonna be learning in math this year, but I'm gonna divide the videos into quarters, basically like 9 weeks or so. And so the videos are a little bit shorter, and you only have to watch the video that actually you need for that quarter in particular. If a quarter has a lot of things to cover, many skills, I may split the videos into two different videos just so you can just concentrate on one skill. Like for example, the first thing that we do at the beginning of the year is more like a review. But from kindergarten, just because at the beginning of the school year, we are trying to teach students how to be at school, how to, for example, how to get in line, how to go to sit on the carpet, where to find their supplies. So the beginning of the school year is all about learning procedures. And so that's why everything academic is a little bit lighter, just because we are trying to make sure that the students feel comfortable in their classrooms before we start teaching something that is a little bit more complicated. So the beginning in math in first grade is just counting to 120. In kindergarten, they learned how to count up to 100. And in second grade, they're going to move on to 1,000. But first grade is 120. And many of them already know how to do that. So the difficulty comes when they have to actually write the numbers. And I'm going to talk about that too. So here we go. So this is the, in WINED we call them standards. It's like the skill. And is counting to 120. And remember I was telling you that we are going to use a sequence, concrete, representational, abstract. Well, when we are doing the concrete stage, working on the concrete stage, we're going to use manipulatives. And here are some examples of the manipulatives that we're going to use for this specific skill. And there are many more that you can use. But we use things like any object, basically, that you can find. You can count any object. So maybe little bears. Maybe we can use these little squares, tiles. Also, something that I like a lot, that I use a lot in my class, are these cubes. And because they come apart, so they can put them together, count, and you're going to see how I use them later on in the second part of this video. And also this 100 chart. This one is going to help students a lot to count, to practice, and to see the numbers, because you'll see that they normally have a little bit of issue with how to represent the numbers after 100. That's why every year I send a 100 chart home with the first packet of homework. It doesn't look exactly like this. It's just a piece of paper, but it's the same idea. So we're going to use this. But you at home, if you want to practice with your child, you can use anything, any small object. Coins, some people use beans, pencils, anything that you have at home if you want to help. So again, this is the sequence. We are going to start counting, touching the objects. 1, 2, 3, counting them. Then we are going to start counting objects, but the objects they're drawings. So we can start counting pictures, basically, or maybe using the 100 chart. And then we are going to move on to the abstract stage. And here, remember, abstract is more like mental. So I give you the numbers, 95, 96, you keep counting. And that's something that we practice a lot here in class. So we're gonna, I'm gonna talk to you about, because this skill is pretty easy, but some misconceptions. So when they're counting, a really common mistake is they skip the tens. Like, for example, they go like 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 31. They skip the 30 or the 40, the 50. That's something really, really common. Also, representing numbers, like I was telling you before, after 100, sometimes they have some issues. They know how to write 100, but when they write 103 at the beginning, many of them write 100 and then the number 3. Actually, 1003, right? Because they hear 103. So they write 103 or a 115. So they write 100, 100, and 15, 5. So that's something really common. How do we address that misconception? Counting every day. I have a huge 100 chart on my board since day one, and we practice every day. They see the numbers. I point at the numbers. We count starting at different numbers, and it's just practice. And like if something that we do a lot, like I go like, okay, today, and then just I close my eyes and I go like, okay, here. We're going to start counting from here, 67, all the way to 89. And then we just count all together. 67, 68, of course, in my class in Spanish, you know that. But we just count every day. Or today we are going to count by tens. Okay, let's do it. 10, 20, 30. Today we're going to count, but backwards. And they love that because it's a challenge. And then we go like, okay, 120, 110, 100, 90, 80, and then we count. Also something that they get confused with is the 17, 70, 16, 60, just because they sound similar overall in Spanish. 17, 70, that's a really common misconception. And I forgot to put it over here, but I can add it later. The number 70. They always forget the number 70. And I always tell them, oh, and I write a sad face, poor 70, he's sad. Because the kids are forgetting her. So they think it's funny, and then they tend to go like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, and skip the number 70. And I always tell them that 70 is really sad because the students don't remember her. And they think it's funny, and that's how they remember things like that. So at home, what can you do at home to help your student with this standard, with this skill? Just count. This one is pretty easy to help with. Just count with them. Just when you are in the car, okay, we're going to count from 1 till 20. And then the next day, 1 till 50. I don't know. Just count. Just give them things at home to count. Oh, I need help counting my coins because I need to know how many coins, and it can be almost like a game. Oh, today we are gonna count backwards and count how many red cars you see while you're driving. I used to play that with my daughter all the time. We're gonna count how many blue cards we see and things like that. Also, something that you can do, and if you want one of these, I can send you one that is blank, and the students can just complete the 100 chart by themselves, just to practice those numbers after 100. That's something that you can do. And also here I have this website. If you click over here, you see how I use all these manipulatives. Well, you don't have them at home, but after COVID and everything, many websites created virtual manipulatives. So if you click on the image, it's going to take you to a website with many manipulatives, as you can see over here. And you just have to click on, like, for example, there is 100 chart. And then they can count. I'm going to move myself over here again. You can tell, okay, we are going to start at 36, and you're going to count all the way to 79. Or you can go back and use counters. You can just like put a bunch of counters over there, and then your child can count them and tell you how many are in there. And there are many resources here. All the resources that I use at school, you can have them here virtual. And let me go back over here. Yes. So this is how you can help at home. But this is, again, it's a pretty easy standard skill. It normally doesn't give students many problems, but it's something just that you can practice at home just because it's the foundation for math. But again, this is just like pretty easy at the beginning of the school year because we're learning other stuff. So again, here is the survey. I'm gonna stop my video now, and I'm gonna record a second video for the second part of the quarter, just because if not, this video is gonna get too long. But like if you saw before, I'm gonna be, let me go back really quick. I'm gonna be adding my videos to the slides. So here, whenever I'm done with this video, I will upload it here. So you're gonna have the videos embedded in the PowerPoint presentation for you to access to them. Okay, so I'm just gonna stop now, and if you could please, if you didn't do it before, maybe you want to do it after you watch all the videos, that's fine with me as well. Just let me know what you think, and then I'll see you in a little bit. Adios.